how long have you known each other online?
2 years.
And you're both meeting for the first time today.
Yeah. What did we really talk about? Like the first year that I was on the Discord.
We kind of don't really talk about anything specifically. It's all just
That's
vibing,
true.
really.
What does esoteric mean?
Esoteric means something that's like not explained. Like you'll give someone information in sort of a coded manner.
I don't really know how to use it in a sentence, but I wanted to say that a lot of the discussions were esoteric.
They would be esoteric
not.
in the sense that you would need to be initiated into the server to really understand. And I guess to an extent that's true. But I think there's also certain things that are easy to understand. The way I use lunch cat emote and just different emotes in general, I think you have to be initiated to really understand.
That is true.
Because I use them
Or you have to assume that what it means, sort of a thing. Yeah.
kind of like hieroglyphics, I guess. Because there's definitely more meaning than just the meaning there. You really have to interpret what's
That's
going
a
on. But I
really-
think you can interpret it. I think it's fairly readily available if you actually just let it sink in.
That's a really good way to describe emojis in general, is they mean so much more than they actually mean. It's sort of like we have two languages in the world. I don't know. It would be very interesting to see the day when alongside learning your ABCs, you're learning your emojis.
You need to understand kind of every cultural touchstone, because all the emojis don't mean anything on their own. They mean things because you attach them to other things.
One of the mainstream ones that I think is interesting is a painted nails emoji.
Yeah.
Yes.
And emotes are very racially driven too. You can figure out what race someone is after they use 3 emotes.
Yes.
That is very true.
And emotes even mean different things in different cultures, because if you remember when a lot of people on TikTok were moving to Xiaohongshu, people were getting confused because they were using emotes wrong. Like there's like a Doge emote, and people use it because they thought it was cute, but in China it actually means like sarcasm.
Yeah, so even within Herp Club, you join this tiny niche Discord server. And I know I talk about my server being special, which I truly think it is.
I think it is too.
I think it is, yeah.
Think about the infinite number of little micro communities that have their own little emotes. That's what I tell when I try to explain Discord to my parents. They don't really completely get why I've become so obsessed with it, and I always mention, okay, I don't respond to their texts well, and I say I would respond if we had Discord emotes.
That is something that absolutely drives me crazy about using other platforms, is not having the emotes that I have on literally the Herp Discord. Like, I use them everywhere so much, especially over Discord. I will use something like the David Lunch emote, and no one will understand at all what I mean, but they'll be like, oh, that's a cute cat. Why is it named David Lunch?
I mean, it literally is another language. And
It
when
really is.
When you don't have access to the emotes, you don't have access to part of your language.
I message some people that are in the server on Instagram, and when we go back and forth, we just type : lunchcat : and it's
awesome.
understood. It's just translation into the English alphabet.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like how people in America will use certain things in English to mean things in their own language.
What's the linguistic direction again?
People from different cultures will use certain parts of the English language to mean something that only their culture would understand.
Like using auspicious? Because I think of auspicious as something very Asian.
Asian, right.
Like even though it's literally an English word, it's a very Asian word, because it has more connection to. I think it's closer to the word that they use for luck. Also, I think emotes are why I like learning Chinese, because emotes are a lot like Chinese characters. Chinese characters, there's a meaning, but there's definitely a whole cloud of meaning that you can attach it with, and the meaning changes based on the different characters you use. Every character is like a representation of something.
You said
That's
emojis
more.
are Japanese, right?
That's more so like the cow emojis, like you know the you and owo.
Yeah. And the ones that have like parentheses are usually the
Yes.
head.
Wait, I forget, which is the sexual one? Is that uwu or owo?
I don't know if this is a thing, but I think of owo as the top and uwu as the bottom.
That makes a lot of sense actually.
You know what?
And it's
Kind
interesting
of.
that clicks.
That does kind of make sense, but it shouldn't make sense.
Which is pretty interesting that it works, considering both of you are deeply autistic.
Indeed.
That is very true. We understand all of the wrong social cues.
I read something really interesting the other day that someone claimed that when you're autistic, it's like experiencing social cues at the meta level. Like you're not using them, but you see them and you not necessarily always understand them, but you can use them.
I sort of feel like I understand them on a deeper level than I'm supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm good in social situations, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just way overconfident because that's
part
how
of
I
it's
was
being
taught.
unaware, so you wouldn't know if you were.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. I don't know. Do you guys think that I'm being? Well, I guess you're autistic and
I'm normal.
Are you?
I mean, I also am normal. Very normal.
The only thing that gives it away is sometimes you give a hint that you're overthinking what you're saying.
Really?
So I would say that you're very good at masking, but you almost overcompensate.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
There's a subtle awkwardness there. You have to really look for it. It's like the awkwardness is a square, and you're putting a circle around it, over it, so you can kind of see on the edges. But mostly it covers.
So I just need to grow the circle bigger, and then I won't see the edges.
Yes.
Of course.
You have to practice more being normal.
I need to practice being normal. All right. This is what's happening. Jeez. I've never thought of myself as compensating. I've thought of myself as getting better. But I do think that I study social situations a lot more than I should, and I'll study how individual people interact with me and others so that I can better respond to them. But I sort of thought that everyone did that. Maybe people are just themselves, which that's lame. Why would you want to be yourself?
People generally don't do that.
Yeah, okay.
What do people normally do? Like, what's the normal person experience?
I think they just are.
Crazy. A lot of the reason why autistic people are less or lower functioning in certain situations than normal people is because they are learning way more than the average person would about that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or they have to learn way more about that thing than the average person would. So it's a lot more difficult for them to get to the same level.
No, yeah, that does make sense because they're seeing it as a from a larger scope.
Right.
And it makes you more observant, but it also makes it difficult to kind of focus in a little bit and really drive the car as opposed to just seeing the map.
When you're talking from someone, how much of your mind is taken up by paying attention to the way that they're thinking versus what they're saying? So I can give an example if it doesn't make sense.
No, that
but
does
you might
make sense. I would say about 20-ish. I don't actually think about what people are thinking. I take things at face value very much. I will think about things like how both of you are moving your legs right now as though you're thinking about what I'm thinking about right now.
Stimming.
David shakes his legs so hard it shakes the living room.
I know. It was. I
actually had to actively try not to do it, like in the car and stuff, because I've been often chastised against it.
You're a very still person, though. Like, is that trained?
I really didn't used to be. This is a brand new thing for me, and I think it's because I'm exhausted, and I really have been having a hard time forming, like this sentence forming thing that I've sort of developed. I'm very frustrated with myself about it because I didn't used to be like that. I could just say words and it made sense. It's been since I've been trying to not blurt out things. And then instead of blurting out things, I will just forget them. Which is why I used to blurt things out, just whenever. And then people told me not to, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I just, instead of saying things, I just don't say things.
So you can't really hold on to a thought?
No, absolutely. I don't know how I got to that topic, but what was the question?
The question was actually about losing your train of thought.
Oh.
Well, kind of.
Well, okay. I answered that question pretty well, I think.
No.
It had nothing to do with
You were
that.
talking about losing your train of thought.
It was about how you interpret other people.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, how I interpret Oh, yeah, so I don't interpret other people. I sort of do, where I can tell when they're... Well, I don't know. I don't really actually think I can tell when people are annoyed with me. I sort of just hope that they like me, and then if I like them, I'll talk to them again, and if I don't like them, we won't talk again, I guess.
Why'd you default to people being annoyed with you?
Because I feel like because I'm bad in social situations, or I think that I'm bad, where I can't remember things or I can't formulate thoughts, I think that people get frustrated with that about me, the same that I get frustrated with myself.
I think I got stuck on saying that the question was about losing your train of thought, because that's what I was thinking of about a lot during the whole thing.
I thought you were making a joke. I thought you were trying to
no, not at
gaslight
all.
Ethan.
Oh.
I definitely do lose my train of thought, and I think that's why I
Well, okay.
speak very quickly, because I'm trying to get everything out so that I can get the next thing out.
But there's
got
no
so
way
much
you
coming
type faster than you talk. But you seem to get your thoughts out in text.
I think I
Yes.
do, actually. I will type a sentence and send it, and then I can go to the next thought. I sort of will push a thought and keep it like in my head, in the front of my head, while I'm typing it out. And then the second that it's over with, I push it out of the way for the next thought to come up, whatever that may be. So when I'll send a train of messages in Discord, it's literally because I thought of something, which led to another thought, which led to another thought, which led to another thought. And this happens in real life as well, but I typically won't say half of the thoughts that I think. I will be saying one thought and have 3 more thoughts, which I will push out of the way, and then what comes up next is the 4th thought instead. And so I will have skipped like 3 points that I was supposed to say for the 4th one to make sense, because I just forgot about them.
That's pretty much exactly how it works for me as well.
Really?
Interesting. Because neither of those are the reason that I like it, which is that you get a chat history. So I can remember what I've already said, and I can look back to that to stay on track.
I hate remembering what I said. The one thing that I do like about forgetting how people are is I can go into a situation and be completely neutral. If I have an argument with someone, I can go back to them the next day and be the same friendly person that I was the day before we had the argument, and they'll still be bitter. I knew that we were angry at each other, but I didn't know why necessarily.
So you don't hold grudges necessarily.
No, but I think that is also partially a learned trait, is not to hold grudges, because my parents, of course, always taught me to be friendly to people that you meet. And so I try to be as friendly as humanly possible to literally everyone that I see.
I actually do hold grudges quite often. Like, I do try to get rid of it, because you did mention not holding grudges as like a learned thing, and that's something that I have worked on. Because definitely earlier on, like years ago, I mean recently too, but mostly years ago, I would definitely hold on to grudges a lot. But I do definitely remember everyone's like character and all the thoughts I have associated with that person. It's very much at the forefront of my mind. I am always thinking about what people actually mean and the things that they're thinking, rather than just the things that they're literally saying.
Any conversation we've had on Discord, I've probably read at least twice, sometimes up
Really?
to 5 or 10 times.
So I didn't believe your reading score. I think that your reading score is a lot higher than it is. And I think your reading comprehension is a lot higher than the short little test said it was. Because I will read something 2 or 3 times to just understand it the first time. And then it'll be out of my mind in 30 seconds because I have to go and understand the next thing.
I'm usually working on memorization. I mean, I know it's kind of fun. I like to remind you that we've already talked about topics, because you sometimes repeat topics.
Well, so a lot of times I will actually remember once you bring it up that we talked about that
That
topic.
makes sense, yeah.
It's really hard to bring up a thought myself, but if someone else brings up the thought, it'll just snap into my head almost immediately. Yeah.
What's every book you've read? You can't really say, but if someone says,
Right.
have you read blank, you can remember if you've read blank or
Exactly,
not.
just like that, yeah.
Going back to earlier when I didn't remember what the question was, like, I won't remember that.
That was me.
Yes. But I'll remember, like, literally the text of every single Magic the Gathering card from like 1996 to 2009.
One of the things that has made me question if I have autism or not is I'm not interested in the normal autistic things, and I don't have the autistic hyperfixation on things to the degree that I see other people have it, like with Pokemon or with Magic the Gathering cards or something like that.
I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be like a hobby in that sense. It can be
Right.
literally anything,
Yeah,
like cars,
that's true.
general handiwork, things like that.
I think I'd sort of talked to Alex about this before, but for me, words are like my least favorite form of communication because there are just so many better ways for people to... I find it necessary because I don't really know how else to fully communicate with someone, but there's so many other better ways for people to know what you mean by something, just by showing or pictures or.
Because words
like-
are definitely my favorite way to communicate, but I would also consider like emojis a form of words.
Right.
It's-
Well, yeah, I was thinking pictures more so. I think I cut off your. I'm sorry.
No, I was. That's,
Okay.
I was pretty much done with the thought.
Okay,
Do you think in
Somewhere.
images very often?
I do. Yeah.
Are you both ones on the 1 to 5 aphantasia scale? 1 is being able to spin a 3D apple in your head.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally used to design like toys and things for myself,
You
and
had
I
CAD
would
in
try
your
to
head?
share them to my mom. Yeah, by drawing them out, but I never put things down. I can only think of them and make them.
Do you get like bursts of images in your head? Like if I say the word toy, does an image immediately pop into your head?
Yeah.
And if I say another word like cow, you get another image?
Yep.
And is it like a specific image over and over?
Say toy again.
Toy.
I thought of the same image and then right after it a different image the second time.
I think that makes sense though, because it's not just you choosing the association. It's the association just kind of naturally forming.
Right.
So it's not going to be whatever your favorite thing is. It's going to be whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe the first thing, or just the most powerful connection there.
Yeah. Well, so like when you said car, I literally thought of a red Mustang. Like a red 69 Mustang, Shelby GT.
I thought of, when you said toy and cow, I just thought of words both times, so I guess it's the
Really?
opposite. I thought of express for toy, because it's in the name of the toy store my mom worked at, and I thought of Otis for cow.
That's so cringe.
Well, it stood out, I think, just because it was this super masculine cow, but I was always like, wait, but cows are girls.
Really? I never actually think of cows as girls. I always think of them as men. 'Cause they're like big and fat. Like.
Do you think of Tyrone as a male? My chickens?
Tyrone?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, Tyrone is a female.
Tyrone is a female?
So I think very wordy. Like all of my thoughts are sentences. I could say all my thoughts.
Really?
You can think in pictures, but you also
Yes.
described thinking in shapes or something.
Yeah, my thoughts aren't. They actually generally aren't in words. They're definitely not in sentences. They're kind of like in clouds, and I have to assemble them.
That's a really good description of how I think as well. I don't even see half of the thoughts that I have, but I have them, and I know that I have them.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't actively, consciously think about them.
It's all just subconscious stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. You seem a lot more collected than I do. You just seem a lot quieter,
Mhm.
sort of. But I mainly live with like the same 4 people for pretty much my entire life, and it's really hard to then go out into the world and talk to new people and have them not know what those 4 people knew already.
But do you like speak every day?
In life, yeah, absolutely. I switched to a dorm that I live in pretty much by myself. I'll have friends over and stuff sometimes, but yeah, when I'm in my dorm, I literally don't say anything. Sometimes I'll talk to myself, but I usually am
Like
completely...
you'll physically speak to yourself?
I will physically speak to myself, like an
Interesting.
insane person, yes.
I want to try. I mean, not try. I've done it, but I want to do that a little bit more because I think it would be easier for me to speak more if I speak to myself because I really don't do that.
Interesting.
Like I'll go for like definitely hours, but it's often days just without speaking.
Really?
At all.
Wow. I don't think I could do that, actually. That's really impressive that you can go from that to talking like we are right now, and you seem a lot more collected than I do.
Interesting.
But, maybe you're not. Maybe in your head, I don't know, you're equally as sort of... I lost my train of thought again.
Like jumbled or...
Yeah, as I am.
But jumbled in like... What would I say? Jumbled in like a sense where you're not calm, or jumbled in a sense where it's just generally difficult to pull things out?
I would say that I am calm, but in a panicky way, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Sort of like I feel like I have to say something for the camera. I can't just sit here and stare at you awkwardly for 3 minutes while
could.
I'm trying to think of something.
Like you're panicky in the background?
Yeah, in the background.
I see.
Yeah, if I actually have my thoughts already collected, I'll try to say them. I saw shooting star. That was cool. I think we kind of missed it.
I've actually never seen a shooting star in my life.
Did you see anything, Alex?
No.
Are you disassociating?
When I shoot, I feel like I'm fully involved.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I wonder if that's partially because you've been doing it for so long. Like I wonder how I'll become as I do it for more and more years.
Yeah, I don't know if this showed when you were looking at my footage, but well, I guess I didn't really film a lot. But I'm always either worried about taking up too much space on the camera, like filming unnecessary things, or I am worried about not catching everything. And so I'll like flip the camera around to literally everything at the same time. Oh, he said something. He said something now.
Yeah.
How good are you at like speaking alone?
Speaking alone.
Like if it's just you and the camera, how?
That is what I'm used to. So that's what I was gonna say is talking to myself. I find it easiest in the car where I have a dash camera, and I am always assuming, for whatever reason, that I'm gonna get in an accident and someone's gonna like look at all of my dash camera footage and they're just gonna see me talking to myself for 128 gigabytes. So I'll talk to myself like, oh Ethan, what have you done tonight? You haven't done anything. Let's see how much money we've made. And then like sort of I guess like a content creator, but more so directed at myself than an audience.
So if you could translate your cloud thoughts, like if that was a form of media that people could consume, would there be a lot for you to post?
I would be posting constantly.
Almost certainly,
absolutely. Because I do actually have a lot of post ideas and a lot of video ideas that if I could easily make them, or if I am able to post something like right there and then, I will post it right there and then. But if it takes me 5 minutes even, I will completely forget that thing ever existed and never remember it again. So I should really carry a notepad with me because I'm always worried about losing my thoughts because oftentimes they do literally never come back. Yeah.
That's something that David Lynch used to say, something to the extent of, if you get a beautiful thought, you need to write it down because you'll lose it and you'll want to kill yourself because it'll never come back.
Wow.
And he always used to compare finding thoughts to like fishing. There's a scene in, I think, episode 1 of Twin Peaks, and it's very famous. One of the guys comes in and he says, I don't remember the whole line, but it's something to the extent of, there's a fish in the percolator, and it's kind of a coded symbol because to him fish were like thoughts,
right?
So, and then the percolator is the imagery
right.
of that is the bubbling up. It's like the thought bubbling up.
Well, I know. Yeah, percolator. I made coffee in a percolator. That's that's what I think of.
Interesting. Also, I do think I can capture the thoughts a lot easier in like text. If Discord were a form of content creation, I think I'd be like easily top tier.
I think it is a form of content creation. That's probably why I'm addicted to it. But you're a lot better at the Discord creation. Because on my server, of course, people gravitate towards me because I'm the reason they initially join. But you're one of the keystones that people end up looking at and kind of latching onto, kind of like a fan. Think about how quickly Gux got attached to you.
True.
That is very true.
Also, there's something I said to Ethan in the Discord, and it was kind of an offhanded, almost a joke,
Me,
but I
Ethan,
think it is
or
true.
other
Yes,
Ethan?
you. Because we were right next to each other in the living room, but I said something
that.
to the extent of, you saw me in real life, but there is part of me that's left in the Discord.
Oh, yes.
Like there's more of me that I can assemble.
I believe one of my teachers was talking about how what you see of someone is only about 10% of them. It scares me a little bit because I want to know who other people are and I want people to know who I am. And the thought of people only knowing 10% of who I am and only knowing 10% of who you are or who Alex is. Okay, I think people know a bit more than 10% about who Alex is because you really don't have a lot going on in your life. You've recorded your life for 10 years, so it's really hard to find something that's not out there already.
You're more exposed than the average person, but there is like a great depth behind what is shown. Like certainly not everything is shown.
For me specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ethan, do you have
Wow.
a David Lynch? Do you have a David Lynch
A David Lynch
of your own?
of my own. Oh, who is David Lynch to you, I guess? Because I don't actually know much about that.
That's somewhat hard to answer.
I could also say, do
okay.
you have a PewDiePie
Do I have a... Oh, okay, that actually makes more sense.
or a Skrillex?
I wouldn't say so. I'm very tempted to say Elon Musk, but I really don't take a lot out of Elon Musk's book. sometimes I will like, I'll act like, or I'll try to have the persona of Tony Stark, because I like the fake persona of Elon Musk a lot more than I like the actual person.
To me, PewDiePie is
Okay.
he's someone I just want to mimic.
Right.
I don't know if I learn a ton from him. I just want to be like him.
I would say that it's changed over time for me. It's sort of Elon Musk, sort of actually you, now more so.
I'll take it.
I don't know. I talk about what you do, and I sort of take more ideas out of your book, because you sort of have my, I wouldn't say ideal life, but a lot of the direction that you're going is a direction that I would also enjoy going. And so I sort of want to try to get on that path. So I look at a lot of you. But otherwise, I really like trying to figure out who I am and being my own person rather than trying to take pages out of other people's books.
More originality.
Yeah. Even though I'm really bad at it still.
Well, that's fine, because I don't even strive to be original. So if you strive to it, then that's better than a lot of people.
I mean, I guess I do kind of strive to be like David Lynch, but I don't really want to follow his exact path. I would consider him a role model. But I do want to go about things in my own way, very much. Like I do learn a lot from him, and I like the things that he's made, but there are my own things that I would like to make, rather than just imitating him.
Would it be fair to say it's like you look at him the way people would look at a philosopher, kind of? Like, not that he knows what to do, but where people kind of like who's the guy that lived in the pot?
Diogenes?
Yeah.
Like, people that look up to him and read his books, they don't actually want to live in a pot.
Well, I guess that's sort of like how people see spiritual leaders as well.
Because like PewDiePie, I genuinely want to mimic him. The only difference is I don't want to live in Japan.
Would you ever be interested in living in a different country, though?
Not really. It's the thing he complains about the most is how far they are from their families. So their son rarely sees their grandparents.
Would you ever live out of NC?
I'd be open to it, but right now I don't have a state I want to live in more.
So unfortunately for me, the more that I look at your life, the more I realize that I actually really like your life, like living in NC.
Are you gonna skid him?
I don't know. It's really like
yeah, but why did you say unfortunately?
Creepy when I say unfortunately, because I want to be my own person. But I keep like you living in NC. I'm like, wow, NC really kind of is like the best state. If people ask me where I want to move, it would either be Alaska, Florida, or NC. Like.
And you were born in Florida, right?
I was born in Florida. Yeah. So I have Florida blood, sort of.
I think that even if you were to mimic his exact life, you would.
I wouldn't
still...
be content. I know. Oh.
No, you would still be your own original person, because something that a Broadway singer, I believe, saying something to the extent of you play the role as the role, and all the things that are going to be you about the role are going to come out naturally just because it is you doing the role rather than someone else. Like, just inherently it's going to be different just because it is you, even though you're trying to mimic and be
someone else,
and like be on the same track. You're never actually going to be on that same straight track, because you're gonna diverge in your own ways just because you are the one steering the ship.
You will never be an Alex.
I will never be an Alex. Hopefully I'm never an Alex. I accidentally looked into your life too much, and now I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. The reason that I know so many facts about the channel and stuff is because, not even because I watch it a lot, but because I will, in my own life, associate what I do with things that you've done already. Your channel unintentionally became an instructional video for me. And if I don't follow the instructional video, I'm just gonna fail. It's not even consciously thinking about, like, I want to do this because Alex did it. I don't know, this sounds really creepy saying it out loud.
Do you have other rules in your life?
I do, yeah.
Have you ever
I write myself a lot of rules.
Have you been tested for OCD?
I definitely have OCD.
Oh,
There's
okay.
no question about that.
Because immediately that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Talking about the different rules that you have to follow.
Well, have you seen my dorm room? The first thing I do is I walk in, I straighten the cards, and then I'll fix the cards, and I'll straighten the thing, and then I'll put my keys in. It's like a little key holder thing that I have on there. And then I'll look around the room and make sure that nothing else is off, and then I can continue.
You also said that my house does not look like an OCD's person house.
It doesn't, absolutely, because you literally well, there's no consistency in things.
There are things on the stairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I think there's a certain pattern that OCD people follow that I've noticed that you definitely don't follow, of how things are placed and how their mind is organized.
Do either of you take physical notes throughout the day? Like
No.
you have a thought and you write it down?
I really need to.
Yeah, I probably should, but I
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I do that a lot, yeah. I have a channel in the server. I put some there.
Do you really?
Yeah. I usually use the Samsung Notes app, and then I have a notebook in my car and then a notebook at my desk. It feels natural, though. I'm surprised neither of you do. Like, I just pull it out.
I think it's the words thing. If I have an idea, I wouldn't know how to put it down.
That, and by the time I would grab a notepad, I probably would have lost the thought,
That too.
or it wouldn't be fully formed. Like if there's a thought that I really enjoy, like an idea that I really want to do, I'll focus on it and I'll really grab onto it. The problem is it'll block everything else. That's something that's happened to me a lot with writing. Like there'll be a scene that I really want to write, and I'll think about it over and over and over and over, and I'll get all the details, and I'll try to assemble it into words as well as I can. But then I realize that once that's out, there's really nothing else behind that. Like it's been blocked up for so long that there's nothing behind the pipeline.
When you write, do you ever just make up new words?
No, but I would like to.
Yeah, I think if I was given the opportunity to, like, English was sort of changing and I knew it, then I would definitely do that and tell people this is a new word, you have to use it now.
One of my favorite things about Kaz, the racist wife roommate, is she made up a lot of words.
Interesting.
I use the word scrumpily now because she would describe things as scrumpily.
Did she make up those words, or did she steal them from other people who made them up? That's my
I think
question.
a combination. She was very iFunny coded,
Yeah.
so a lot of her thoughts I realized weren't always original. A lot of them were from iFunny, but that's just how thoughts work. You get them from places.
Right.
But a lot of the words she definitely made up herself.
My friend does that as well, where she will sort of make up a different word, and she won't necessarily have a meaning for it at that time. She'll just use it until it develops its own meaning. And I think that's part of what Shakespeare intended to do with his words that he made up.
I lived with Shakespeare. That's pretty crazy. I lived
That
with
is pretty
Zoomer
crazy.
Shakespeare.
New Shakespeare.
She was misunderstood. She was before her time, basically. Maybe after her
True.
time, back when racism was
Whoa.
accepted.
Whoa.
Your roommate histories.
None.
My roommate histories? I've had one roommate before, if that's what you mean.
Okay, not many thoughts on that topic. Are either of you gonna watch this?
This video?
Yeah.
When it becomes an actual video, or watch the raw footage?
Oh, the video.
The video, absolutely. I will watch it because it is on your channel, and I will watch it because I'm in it to see how you interpret what I say and how you transform it into your own idea of what you believe was important about what I said.
Yeah, I definitely like to see what you're going to do with this.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm nodding behind the camera.
You can nod the camera. Who is that? Who does? Is that William Osmond? I'm thinking of. He is like the.
He is a great cameraman.
Yeah, oh my
I
gosh,
really
this
like their
cameraman is
dynamic.
so good. That's what we need David to become.
The only problem is I dissociate behind the camera.
I was gonna say, yeah,
That's
based on
true.
the footage I've looked through so far, looking at David's footage, it's just like, it's like there's a camera just floating.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the point of a camera, though, isn't it?
I would
Sort of.
say, I think depending on the context.
Okay, that's true. Depending on the context.
I would say there's no clear personality coming through behind it. So, like, Kaz would be the extreme. The most extreme of anyone I've had shoot
Right.
is you can tell within 5 seconds if Kaz shot it, because it's an absolute disaster. But
really?
not,
I think that her shooting was great because it was a disaster.
yeah, I
That's
agree.
Like, okay.
I loved her
Interesting.
shooting. That's why I asked her to shoot
okay,
so much.
okay.
But it was an absolute viewers did not like it. Well, not all viewers. but
Really?
It was the most criticized footage I've ever had.
I would say that that's because it's good, though.
Stylized things are going to be the most polarizing things.
Absolutely.
That's true. I definitely prefer polarization over everyone thinking it's all right.
Yeah.
or even good.
Well, yeah, what's the point of making content if everyone's just going to say that it's all right?
Well, there's a lot of content like that on TV.
I would think of music before I think of shows. Things like the very cliche one is like Nickelback, where the music's like okay, but it's so aggressively mediocre that it's unremarkable.
That's so interesting how both of you are connected to consuming music a lot more than I am, but I'm more into consuming it to reproduce it in my own way. So I will literally listen to a song so that I can sing the song, not for any other reason.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Something I thought was interesting was I just finished shooting the longest video that Ethan and I have done together. You're very easy to edit because you know every like mainstream and some niche YouTube nuances. So you, without me having to ask you, you did like 12 call to actions. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. You advertised the Discord multiple times. You advertised the membership. You got viewers to engage in the comments with various questions. And you also just made relevant references
Wow.
to the community.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was very easy.
Yeah.
So without thinking about it too deeply, let's say you did live here over the summer. What would you want your title to be? Your position?
My position? Because, yeah, I guess you would have to employ me. I would be the supervisor of technical systems and public relations.
Hopefully. So you want to keep things
Maybe.
running smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
You want to problem solve.
Yes.
None of that was related to creation at all.
No.
Oh, what would my title be?
Yeah, just what would you call yourself?
The cat?
Okay. Would you say you don't like labeling yourself?
Probably, yes.
This Discord, they have a notes section, and so I try to keep track of who people are until I actually know them personally.
You wrote down Chinese for me?
For you, I have Costco, Tesla, Chinese. And for Ethan, I have Minecraft server guy. Do you know why you're Minecraft server guy?
Yes, because that's the original reason I came to the server, is I was going to make the Minecraft server. I have a really bad habit of I will try, when I like someone, I will try to become their favorite person by giving them something that they want. And what I saw was like a moment where that was the thing that I could potentially give you that you wanted. And so that's the thing that I tried to give you.
It was kind of creating an opportunity for yourself. I feel like people think that opportunities have to come, or that it is relying on luck.
Yeah.
But you can form an opportunity.
I don't know. I say it's a bad thing, but it's kind of like what literally every business owner does. Is everyone who wants to make money or wants to get somewhere is they will make opportunities for themselves, not wait for them. I guess what I wanted to do in that moment was literally just become an integral part of the Discord server.
Well, you surpassed Discord server and you entered house.
I literally.
You never became a Discord mod. You never became a moderator on the server.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you were given an offer to move in.
What happened?
I don't know.
Well, David you're not a mod either, are you?
No, I am. I just don't moderate that much.
David climbed the ladder. Why is your... What?
Alex.
What?
I want to be a moderator.
No.
Do you ever dissociate?
Disassociate?
Mm-hmm. Kind of disappear from your own mind, I guess?
No.
Like you sink too deep?
Nope.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of always do. Like at all times. I think if I were to control things, I wouldn't be. Like I would just be observing. That's the number one thing I think about myself. I just like to observe rather than... well, I guess I do like to act on things, but not from within. Yeah, like not from within. Kind of like from around.
I didn't completely understand your answer, honestly.
Kind of like playing The Sims, I guess.
Oh, because you can't just
sim it up.
watch.
Well, you want to be the camera.
Yep.
Which is, I guess, why it's so easy for you to disassociate while filming.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of choose to not make an impact.
I don't think it's necessarily even a choice.
Okay.
It just is.
Yeah, usually my thought process when I go into something is, how can I leave this and know to myself that the outcome was because of something I did?
Yeah, that's a lot how I think too.
A very selfish version is if I can get the attention of someone popular, I know that I like very slightly change their life path permanently. And like anything that anyone else ever sees them do, I was like a little tiny butterfly in that situation. It's a very immature way for me to think, but
Me too.
it just is.
Yeah, I know. That's how I think about it too. Exactly. Is like it's so immature for me to be like, "Hey Alex, you want me to make you a Minecraft server?" Because even if I did literally just like make a Minecraft server and that's all I did, I still would have had a little bit of influence on your life. I would have changed it a little bit.
Like I love this setting
Mm-hmm.
where yes, I haven't like I asked some questions and
We're
stuff.
all
but-
equally involved, I think.
Are we? Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm involved too much right now. Like I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel like I've been talking over both of you multiple times and stealing the thunder and then not knowing what to say. It's like I always have to be in front, but I don't know how to be in front.
Anytime you started to interrupt someone, it was a time where it was an accident and you noticed.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely been people I talk to that don't even realize and they just steamroll. Maybe I do. I don't know.
It used to be that I was in class and I didn't even notice that I was interrupting. I was just talking to the teacher as though we were having a conversation.
I know that kid. I definitely had that kid in class.
Sorry. It was me all along.
Where did you sit in the front of class?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Where did you sit
Definitely.
in class, David?
I don't know. Sometimes in the front, sometimes in the middle. I don't think I ever sat in the back. But that's mostly just because I can't see.
Oh,
Oh,
well, that's why I like sitting in the back because I needed glasses for a while, but I didn't have them.
so
and
you
I
could
couldn't
just say
see.
that you can see.
Well, not that, but it was the class was distracting me when I was trying to think about, and I could zone out more easily if I couldn't see anything. How long does it take you to fall asleep?
About 15 minutes. A lot of times the sleep thoughts are more so pictures, like what we were talking about before. There's this one since I think I was literally 5 or something, and it's just like a giant panel and then a black dot, and the black dot keeps getting closer and closer until it engulfs me, and I think that's when I fall asleep.
I've had one since I was 11, and it was just girls' boobs.
Would you call yourself a pragmatist?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you pragmatic?
No, not at all. I think I'm too, well, I guess too dissociated in a certain sense, but also too, maybe delusional, even. Like I don't really know how to be. Well, no, I should take that back. I do know how to be pragmatic, but I don't really specifically plan things. Like I don't really have specific stepwise ways of doing something. I kind of have a general idea of how to get towards there, but I don't really have take this step, take this step, take this step.
When you make a decision, do you go back and forth on your choice, or do you just
No,
kind of
when
figure
I
it out?
make a decision, that's the decision. I don't make a decision until I have a decision.
I almost always know what the decision is, but I try to what's the word? I keep going to logically, but that's not the word I want to go to. I keep rationalizing the decision. Like I have to rationalize it with myself, even though I don't actually have to. Like I already know what the decision's going to be.
You said if it's a maybe, it's a yes.
Yes. Because if I'm saying there's a possibility, then it really means that I do actually want to do it.
That's good to know, because I never actually know. Like when you say possibly, I know that you would like to. I now know that you actually would like to do that thing. You're not just saying it as like that would be cool, but it's not going to happen or whatever. You actually would like to do that.
Yes.
So, okay.
What are your maybes?
What are my maybes? I literally like, I'll say maybe, I guess, but it's because I haven't come up with an answer yet.
So we're the full spectrum.
Yeah.
Because your maybes are yes, your maybes are maybe. My maybe means no.
Oh.
If I say maybe, it's because I haven't figured out how to decline it yet. Because I think I say yes to things very quickly, usually. And then I do them.
I would say I get a little bit of that. I'll use words to decline things, like maybe. But when I actually say maybe and I mean it, then it's...
I think also maybe is like, I feel like I should say yes, but I don't actually, like I know it's the right thing not to. Because I tend to over say yes. And usually that lets people down if I say yes to too many things.
Well, if you say yes to too many things and then you don't fulfill those things, then yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely me.
Oh. Okay.
My... what's the Zoomer word for like...
I will absolutely not say yes to something and mean it unless I actually am going to do that thing.
toxic trait. That's what my toxic
Oh.
trait is. Not. Well, my toxic trait is ghosting. I ghost a lot.
Oh my gosh, Alex.
I'm
It's
a
a
huge
huge
ghost.
problem.
I mean,
It's a huge problem.
yes.
When you ghost someone, do you ever feel like you're kind of taking a bucket and kind of pushing their head in, and you're just waiting for them to drown?
After I ghost someone, I don't think about that. They don't really cross my mind all that much. The only time it does is if it was a girl that I had a crush on.
The only
But like while you're in the process of ghosting them.
Oh. I don't think it is a process.
Interesting. You just stop?
I don't even consciously swipe away the notification. It's just gone, I guess.
Wow, that's crazy. Actually,
It's definitely a bad
I
thing.
couldn't do that. I literally like, I'll look at notifications that mean absolutely nothing to me, and I'll read the whole thing, and I'll sometimes even click on it before deleting it.
I love marking
Just to-
all as red, basically.
It's terrible. I hate the mark as red function because it's too powerful for me.
If you play a video game, will you pick up every single item even though it's not efficient to pick up that item?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Yep. It will drive me crazy that I saw it because I have to do something about it now that I saw it before I can get rid of it.
Maybe you still don't like the silences.
I really don't. It's really weird
Just
because
sit. We're
my
gonna
house
sit
is
for-
just so loud all the time.
Well, then let's sit for like a minute.
Okay.
Okay, that was a minute.
Interesting.
So I had so many things to say in that minute. Like, people always call me lazy, but I literally found it impossible to not do anything.
Well, you can still be lazy and do a lot. You can watch
That's
a lot
true.
of TikToks
That
and get
is very
nothing done.
So it's interesting that you were able to just be in the silence and not think about the silence. Like I was definitely thinking of the silence and not of anything else specifically.
The silence is what allows me to think about literally everything else. So I don't think it's more so that I'm uncomfortable with the silence. I think it's that the second that silence occurs, my brain starts, at least when I'm in social situations, my brain starts thinking about different things, and then I realize that I wanted to say something that I didn't think about before or whatnot. Yeah.
You do both give me silence, which is nice. Like if I say I need to think about that for a sec, a lot of people just take that moment to barge in, but neither of you barge in.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people can't do it even if I request it.
Wow.
I actually would like to barge more. I'm often not sure where to interject, but I feel like there's definitely times where I would want to interfere. Like when we were at the Bucky statue, there were certain things I wanted you to do with the statue. Things like that.
Certain thing. What's wrong with Bucky Beaver?
What actually made you uncomfortable? Was it other people
It's-
seeing you?
No, it's the cliche of it. Like I can't wait in line to do something that everyone else is gonna do. I don't want to do it if they also are gonna do it. But I don't like contrarianism.
I see.
Like I don't want to be a contrarian just because. But I didn't want to stand in front of the statue because I know everyone stands in front of that statue. But what I like less than just doing what everyone else does in that, say, standing in front of the statue, is when people use irony as like a self-defense. I think it's what a lot of teenagers. There's actually a Pink Eye song about this. You
course
do the
there's a
same
song
thing, but
about
you
it.
say you're doing it ironically just to show that you're different. But like, no, you're actually doing the same thing.
That's something I used to talk
Yeah.
about, where your brain doesn't understand irony. So when you're doing something ironic, you're actually just doing it.
I don't know where the unironically thing came from.
I say unironic a lot. I
Yeah.
unironically love this song.
It's also just become its own word.
It's
Am I right in saying
fast.
it's no longer a contrast to ironic.
Yes.
Good.
Kind of the way that literally now means figuratively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Words kind of changed they changed their meaning. Just
Yeah.
like the word awesome. The word awesome actually used to mean
Powerful and like
not exactly. It meant
No.
it meant something like fearful. Like you're like awestruck. But now awesome means like something very good. Where do we even go to now? Because we went so far.
I know. We went so far.
Where did that even
What are you
start?
interested in, David?
The question was, how long have you known each other online?